Finding the right sounds can be one of the most difficult things when making music. Not only is it complicated to find the right sound selection for the type of genre you're making, but it's also very time consuming, especially when you spend countless hours just trying to find that right sound and you still end up not finding the right sound for that track or that song that you want to make or that beat that you want to make. So you just end up putting whatever, and then you're not happy with the outcome of how the track sounds, how the beat sounds, how the music sounds. Well, I'm going to try my best to help you out today and show you the steps that I take in order to find the right sounds for my music. Okay, so the first thing you want to do before you even try to make a sound or a track or a beat, whatever it is that you're making, use a reference track. For the love of God, just please use a reference track. I say this on a lot of videos, but trust me, it'll save you a lot of time. Let's just use this example from the Kid Leroy, the song Stay. It's a very popular song and we all know it starts with like this little synth, right? So for instance, okay, I got the idea in my head, I know what sound I'm looking for, and I'm just gonna try to imitate that sound as best as I can. It's not gonna sound exactly the same, but we're gonna try to get at least somewhat close. If it doesn't sound similar, even better, because we're not trying to replicate the exact same sound. But now we have an idea in our heads on what we're gonna do instead of wasting time just trying to find a good sound. So for the sake of this video, I'm gonna use only stock plugins in Logic. If you have stock plugins in FL Studio or Ableton or whatever you're using, go ahead and try the same thing that I'm about to try here. So we're gonna leave it and dry, and then because I'm gonna just add some effects, right? Let's just say, for instance, you don't have all this stuff that Alchemy brings already with the stock plugin, which is pretty cool. You don't have delay, you don't have distortion, any of that stuff, right? So just go ahead and just use the stock plugins. And this is one little tip that I like, and it's a big secret. Just use some reverb. Reverb can change a lot in a sound if you haven't noticed that already. For people that are just beginning and trying to find really how to find a good sound selection, you have to tweak the sound most of the time. You're gonna have to EQ it, put some reverb on it, and it's gonna sound a lot better. Drastically changes the sound, right? But it just sounds a little bit too much. Now we're just gonna leave it here, bring it down, and always try to just manipulate the sound like this. You know, this can take a little bit of time, but until you get that right perfect sound that you want with using these type of plugins, go ahead and take your time on it. It's okay. Now, if you want to take away like some of the, you know, high end, you want to take some of the low ends out, then just go ahead and use some EQ. Like I said, I'm using all just stock plugins. So just and the reason I'm reducing like some of the low end here on this sound is because later on, if I was to add drums or bass to this track, then I don't have to worry about it because it's already done. It leaves space for the drums and bass. Another sound right now that I feel like it's really hot and a lot of people are getting more into it is like these emotional piano sounds, these emotional type of beats that I see a lot of producers make right now. And to be honest with you, before we even get into pianos, the first thing I recommend for you to buy is one of these, a pedal. Trust me, you're not gonna regret it, and I'm gonna show you how to use it right now. So all the pedal is doing for you is sustaining the sound of any sound that you wanna use, especially when you're playing like a straight piano sound. So the way the pedal works is every time you play a chord or you press a sound or you use a sound, you hold the pedal down so it can sustain. And every time you release to go on to the next chord, you let go of the pedal and then you press the chord, then you press the pedal again. For example, hold, release, hold, release, hold. I know it's a little bit confusing at first, but I guarantee you can definitely get this down if you put more practice into it. It makes your creativity and your flow a lot easier and smoother, and you can control the velocity of the keyboard instead of just slamming all the time because you want it to sustain or something. The pedal just helps out with that. And you could be like, well, RMC, you could just add some reverb and delay. Yeah, I know you can add some stuff like that, but trust me, it does not sound the same until you have that pedal. A pedal, you could easily buy it like at a Guitar Center or Amazon for like 20 bucks, 15 to 20 bucks. It doesn't cost you that much. So another big factor that a lot of producers make, and they make this mistake all the time, is they don't know how to use their octaves properly. And what do I mean by that? It means that they're playing that sound in the wrong side of the keyboard, which means you gotta go up a little higher or a little lower. For example, I love this gentle sine bells right here. I even highlighted it 5 stars because I love it. It sounds good. But when you play it up here, it doesn't sound that great. It sounds kind of pitchy. And I don't know, I just don't like the way it sounds. It's kind of harsh to the ear. But if you use this sound and play at a lower octave here, it sounds good. It sounds really good. So sometimes people make the mistake where they can only, and they have only like this 25 small keyboard, which they can't really do much with, and they don't even know how to use their octave. They don't know that they can go higher and lower on a 25 MIDI keyboard. So another trick I use to make my sound a little bit better is I stack up sounds together with like the same chord sometimes. For example, let's take this patty right here, right? And let's record something with it real quick. Now that I added that sound, now I'm just gonna add the same type of chords, maybe with like different arrangement in the chords, but same exact chords. Everything's gonna stay exactly the same. And I'm gonna go ahead and use that same sound that I was using earlier previously. So another thing you can do is just copy and paste. So Command C and then Command V and just paste. Done. Easy. And what this does is makes your sound a lot fuller, and it gives it a different type of background for the whole track that you're gonna make. Okay, so for the third sound, I'm gonna go ahead and use this lead sound called Vox Box Lead. Because I already have my base, my foundation, and I'm gonna keep playing in the same scale, of course, but I'm gonna try to add a melody now on top of that. Now that I have 2 solid foundations where I can just remove the lead sound wherever I want to in the track, now I can just go ahead and add that. That about does it right there. I didn't add too much reverb, just kept it like right there in the middle, and then with the EQ I just went ahead and left a lot of the mid with high section because that's where I want the lead to sound, and it sounds better there anyways. So at the end of the day, there is a couple sounds that are just not gonna work for you, but most of the sounds that you find inside your DAW, you can definitely manipulate them and make them sound better than what they sound already. I know sound design and finding the right sounds for a track can be very difficult, but like I said, if you have the right reference track in mind already, you just go in already knowing what you're gonna make, what you're looking for. It's gonna make you being in the studio, your production, a lot more enjoyable instead of more stressful. Because I know it can be stressful when you're trying to find the right sounds for the song you wanna make. The last alternative, I would say, yeah, just go ahead and get a subscription for like Slate Digital or Omnisphere or all these other bigger plugins like Serum and Nexus. You can go ahead and do that. They have really good professional sounding sounds. Of course, they're gonna sound a lot better. They're higher quality. But if you're in a budget and you don't wanna spend that money right now, you don't have it, there's different ways that you can make sound good. Sometimes I go back to the stock sounds because I like the way it sounds better. What I'm trying to say is don't let the sound selections, don't let the sounds that you think sound whack hold you back from creating something that you wanna create. And if you're still not sure, like I wanna create music, I wanna find the right sounds and this and that, and you're still not sure you wanna put out your music yet because you're scared that you don't have the right sounds yet, go ahead and watch this video right here. Hopefully this video inspires you and helps you out to make music and put out music regardless of how it's sounding right now.